Hello students, today we will discuss intraoperative arrhythmias, that is atrial fibrillation. The definition of atrial fibrillation is it is uncoordinated atrial depolarization and an irregular ventricular rate. Rate is very irregularly irregular and uncoordinated atrial depolarization is there. Now we will see the presentation. An irregularly irregular QRS complex on the ECG. It is associated with rapid atrial activity with deflections in size and rate but without visible P waves. A 12-lead ECG provides best opportunity to confirm the atrial fibrillation. Then we will see the refractory period of AV node determines the ventricular rate. In absence of drug treatment or disease, the ventricular rate will be 120 to 200 beats per minute. Now we will see immediate management. The treatment of atrial fibrillation depends on whether it is paroxysmal or persistent. If the onset of AF is recent, that is within 24 hours, and it is associated with significant cardiovascular compromise, that means hypotension, rate is more than 150 beats per minute, having cardiac failure and associated wall disease. The treatment should include: number 1, attempted restoration of sinus rhythm by electrical synchronized cardioversion using 100 joule, 200 joule, 360 joule monophasic shocks or the biphasic equivalent dependent on specific defibrillator. Then immediate correction of precipitating causes like electrolyte abnormalities. Third, if electrical cardioversion fails, attempt chemical cardioversion with injection amiodarone 300 mg IV over 1 hour, and it is followed by 900 mg IV over 23 hours. The amiodarone will slow ventricular rate even if it fails to restore sinus rhythm. Then if AF has been persistent means for more than 24 hours, anticoagulation is required before attempting cardioversion. The risk of embolizing any blood clot in the atrium, therefore it requires anticoagulation. In the patient who is not taking digoxin, rate control can be achieved with digoxin. Dose 500 microgram IV. It is repeated after 2 to 4 hours. Then intravenous beta blockers like esmolol or metoprolol is a good alternative for slowing the ventricular rate. Then we will see the subsequent management. In subsequent management, treat the precipitating reversible causes. Which are the reversible causes? Number 1, electrolyte abnormalities. Second is hypovolemia. Third is sepsis. Correct these causes. Then ensure therapeutic digoxin levels. These levels are 1 to 2 nanogram per ml. Anticoagulate unless contraindicated. This is the subsequent management. Second is patient remaining AF require 3 weeks of full anticoagulation before attempting cardioversion. The recent studies suggest that long-term rate control may be better than attempting to restore the sinus rhythm. Third, patients in AF started on amiodarone to control the rate must be converted to alternative drugs like digoxin or beta blocker for rate control. Why? The long-term complications, there are long-term complications associated with amiodarone. Then fourth, the goal of rate control are to produce a resting heart rate of 60 to 90 beats per minute and not more than 110 beats per minute after slight exercise. Now we will see which investigations should be done. The investigations will include ECG, urea, electrolytes, ABG, and thyroid function test. Now we will see the risk factors. The common causes of AF, atrial fibrillation, include myocardial ischemia, second, sepsis, third, rheumatic heart disease, fourth, electrolyte abnormalities like hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia, fifth, hypertension, and last is thoracic surgery. Now we should exclude. The exclusion criteria will include the exclusion number 1, frequent atrial ectopic beats can give appearance of AF. Second, other supraventricular tachycardias are regular, but at very fast rates it can be difficult to distinguish between these and AF. Third, atrial flutter. The atrial flutter is characterized by rapid and regular atrial activity. Atrial activity is regular with rate 250 to 350 beats per minute. This creates characteristic of sawtooth flutter waves on ECG, best seen in lead 2 and V1. There is usually AV block of between 2:1 and 8:1. Thus, atrial flutter at 300 beats per minute and 2:1 block will result in a ventricular rate of 150 beats per minute. Now we will see the special considerations. The long-term anticoagulation is normally recommended for patients over 65 years of age with AF or those with large atria. In these patients, the risk of embolic event is 6% per year. The anticoagulation to an INR of 2 to 4 reduces the risk by 70%, the risk of embolic events. Now we will see the algorithm. Here algorithm, the patients are differentiated into high risk patients, patients with intermediate risk, and patients with low risk. Patients with high risk are those patients that depends upon the heart rate. If heart rate more than 150, there is high risk and there is ongoing chest pain and critical perfusion. That means rate more than 150 beats per minute, ongoing chest pain and critical perfusion. These are the high risk patient. All these signs are present. Then immediate heparin and synchronized DC shock. The DC shock will contain 100 joule, 200 joule or 360 joule or equivalent biphasic energy. Then it is followed by amiodarone 300 milligram over 1 hour, if necessary may be repeated. Now we will see the patients with intermediate risk. Those which are the patients where the rate is between 100 to 150, patient having breathlessness. Then look for the poor perfusion or known structural heart disease. If it is present, then see the onset. If onset within 24 hours or more, if it is within 24 hours, then attempt the cardioversion. The cardioversion, heparin, then synchronized DC shock 100, 200, 360 joule or equivalent biphasic energy, that is followed by amiodarone 300 milligram IV over 1 hour, if necessary may be repeated once. And if onset is not within 24 hours, that means more than 24 hours, initial rate control, amiodarone 300 milligram over 1 hour may be repeated once if necessary, and anticoagulation by heparin warfarin. Later synchronized DC shock if indicated. Then poor perfusion or known structural disease are not there. No. Then again see the onset. If onset is within 24 hours, then attempt heparin, then amiodarone 300 milligram IV 1 hour repeated if necessary, and synchronized DC shock if indicated. If no, that means onset known to be within 24 hours, Then initial control the rate. Rate will be controlled by beta blockers, oral, IV, or verapamil, or diltiazem, or digoxin, and consider anticoagulation by heparin, warfarin. Later, for synchronized DC shock if indicated. This is about intermediate risk and low risk patients. Low risk means where heart rate is less than 100 beats per minute, mild or no symptoms, and there is a good perfusion. If it is yes, see onset within 24 hours or more than 24 hours. If it is within 24 hours, then heparin, amiodarone 300 milligram over 1 hour may be repeated once if necessary, or synchronized DC shock if indicated. If no, that means onset known to be within 24 hours, that means more than 24 hours. Consider anticoagulation, heparin, warfarin, or later synchronized DC shock if indicated. This is the algorithm for atrial fibrillation.